Evening, one and all. We welcome you all to the International Webinar Series on Holistic Health, Well-being, and Sustainable Development 2025, commemorating Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, nation celebrating 77 years of independence and United Nations Sustainable Development Goals 2015 to 2030 as part of awareness and campaigns, and also commemorating Viksit Bharat in collaboration with Sri Holistic Health Foundation India and Sri Research Institute, Center for Art, Sciences and Well. Before we start our sessions, let's take the blessings of Almighty.
कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः
With the blessings of Almighty, we shall continue with today's sessions and commemorations. Today, we are celebrating International Day of Families on May 15th every year. The theme for 2025 is Family-Oriented Policies for Sustainable Development towards the Second World Summit for Social Development. So, as a world prepares for the Second World Summit for Social Development in November 2025, the International Day of Families, in short known as IDF, will spotlight the pivotal role of family-oriented policies in advancing sustainable development. Held under the theme Family Orientation Policies for Sustainable Development towards the Second World Summit for Social Development, the event will highlight key insights from national regional initiatives, emphasizing the role of families in achieving 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. So family farms make about 80% of farms worldwide, playing a pivotal role in food security, rural jobs, and ecosystem sustainability, especially in developing countries. Family farmers in developing countries face declining crop yields from climate change, increasing poverty and food insecurity as extreme weather reduces both food production and purchasing power. Low-income families in developing countries are hit hardest by climate change due to their resilience and reliance on nature resources and weak infrastructure, leaving them less able to cope up with extreme weather. So families can cut their carbon footprint by adopting eco-friendly habits like saving energy, reducing waste, and eating less meat and dairy potential, lowering food-related emissions by up to 73%. As the world prepares for the Second World Summit for Social Development, November 2020, from 4th to 6th in Doha, Qatar, presents a crucial opportunity to strengthen communities to poverty eradication, decent work, and social inclusion. The summit builds on 1995 Copenhagen Declaration, which recognized families as the foundation of society and underscored the need for work, family balance, and equal partnerships within households. The IDF 2025 observance will emphasize the importance of integrating family focused policies into national developmental agendas to address megatrends such as technological transformation, demographic shifts, urbanization, migration, and climate change. So climate change has increased levels of uncertainty about our future. Young people's unprecedented mobilization around the world shows the massive power they possess to hold decisions, make us accountable. Their message is clear. The older generation has faith, and it is the young who will pay in full with their very futures. During the 1980s, the United Nations began focusing attention on issues related to the family in 1983 based on the recommendations of the Economic and Social Council. The Commission for Social Development, in its resolution on the role of the family in the development process 1983 by 23, requested the Secretary General to enhance awareness among decision makers and the public of the problems and needs of the family as well as the effective ways of meeting those needs. In the resolution 1985 by 29 of 29 May 1985, the Council invited the General Assembly to consider the possibility of including the provisional agenda of its 41st session an item entitled Families in the Development Process, with a view to consider a request to the Secretary General to initiate a process of development of global awareness of the issues involved, directed towards governments, intergovernmental and non-governmental organizations, and public opinion. Later, based on the recommendations of the Commission for Social Development, formulated in its 30th round of sessions, the Assembly invited all states to make their views known concerning the possible proclamation of an international year of the family and to offer their comments and proposals. The Council also requested the Secretary General to submit to the General Assembly at its 43rd session a comprehensive report based on the comments and proposals of member states on the possible proclamation of such a year and other ways and means to improve the position of well-being of the family and intensify international cooperation as part of global efforts to advance social progress and development. So in its resolution 44 by 82 of 9 December 1989, the General Assembly proclaimed the International Year of the Family. In 1993, the General Assembly declared in a resolution 47 by 237, the 15th May of every year should be observed as International Day of Families. So this day provides an opportunity to promote awareness of issues relating to families and to increase the knowledge of the social, economic, and demographic process affecting families. On 25th September 2015, the 193 member states of the United Nations unanimously adopted the Sustainable Development Goals, a set of 17 goals aiming to eliminate poverty, discrimination, abuse, preventable deaths, address environmental destruction, and usher in an area of development of all people everywhere. Families and family orientation policies and programs are vital for the achievement of many of these goals. Today is also commemorated as International Conscientious Objectors Day, which is commemorated on May 15th every year. This day celebrates every individual who has and continues to resist war in many ways, including the refusal to participate in military structure. The day was created by the Peace Pledge Union to raise awareness about and honor conscientious objectors. On this day, individuals and organizations around the world congregate to show their appreciation for conscientious objectors and the impact they have had on military history and the world. International Conscientious Objectors Day is celebrated nearly every corner of the world, from Colombia to Turkey to Serbia to the United States. A conscientious objector is an individual who has claimed the right to refuse to perform military service. They do so on grounds like conscience, religion, freedom of thought, etc. The first ever record of a conscientious objector was in ancient Rome as far back as 295 AD. A man by the name of Maximinus was conscripted to the Roman army but claimed that he could not serve due to religious convictions. A very recognition was granted to the Dutch Mennonites by William the Silent in 1575. They were granted the right to refuse military service in exchange for money. The provision was not formal legislation, but, however, the later first happened in 1757, following Quake's attempts to form a British militia as a national army reserve. The Militia Ballot Act allowed aforementioned Quakers to be exempt from military service. The United States, since its very founding, has permitted conscientious objectors through regulation of the provision was left to the independent states. So conscientious objectors are philosophical linked to the anti-war movement. Throughout history, people have protested war. The roots of movement date back to American Revolutionary War, and the British people protested against British war intervention in America, which led to the House of Commons voting against further war in America in 1780. This eventually led to the Peace of Paris. Today is also commemorated as International Kangaroo Care Awareness Day, which is held every year on May 15th. It is a global event that aims to increase the safety and implementation, research awareness, and education about kangaroo care. Globally, it also hopes to bring attention to the positive physiological and psychological benefits of kangaroo care. International Kangaroo Care Awareness Day, Kangaroo Mother or KMC Day, was founded on May 15, 2011 by the Emily Jackson, PhD, PE, PMP, to increase safety implementation, research awareness, and education about kangaroo care globally. One popular way to celebrate Kangaroo Day is by facilitating a kangaroo-a-thon, which is friendly competition about which baby is held the longest during the period of time. Jackson is an ergonomics PhD engineer and the mother of Zachary, a former micro preemie who was born on May 15, 2001. Jackson and her husband had Zach using kangaroo care in the NICU, and it saved his life when his life support equipment failed when Zach was 3 weeks old and weighed just over 2 pounds. Zach survived and thrived against incredible odds. Today, he is in college. So Jackson's life mission and transformational desire is to improve the healthcare, development, neuroprotection, and mental health of hospitalized babies and families. Today is also commemorated as MPS Awareness Day. MPS Awareness Day is celebrated annually on May 15th. This annual celebration serves as means to spread awareness to mucopolysaccharidosis, MPS disorders. MPS Society members do their best to educate and create awareness about the diagnosis, symptoms, and management of MPS each year. Mucopolysaccharidosis is a genetic lysosomal storage disease caused by the body's inability to produce specific enzyme. The missing or insufficient enzyme prevents calls from recycling waste, resulting in the storage of materials in cells throughout the body. MPS has over 40 hereditary illnesses caused by a failure of lysozyme organisms. So, mucopolysaccharidosis or MPS is a group of metabolic disorders caused by the lack of specific enzymes required to break down sugar carbohydrates that aid in bone, skin, and connective tissue building. Individuals with MPS fail to produce enough enzymes needed to break down these sugar chains into simpler molecules to produce enzymes that do not work properly. This results in permanent damage to cells and affects to an individual's physical appearance, organs, and system function. There are many forms of MPS and their prevalence is estimated to be 1 in 25,000 births. The first description of the order was made in 1917 by the Dr. Charles Hunter, who identified MPS. Type 2, by 1990, Gertrude Hurrier identified and described 2 cases similar to Hunter's observation, and her findings led to the Hartler and Hunter syndrome's discovery. The diseases were considered to be the same in 1968. In the same year, the Hunter syndrome was considered a less severe variant of the Hartler syndrome. By 1978, Lawrence released a publication distinguishing both diseases as 2 separate disorders. It was only in 1968 that the disorders were hypothesized to be due to poor mucopolysaccharide breakdown. In the present time, 7 distinct clinical types and numerous subtypes of mucopolysaccharidosis have been identified, although each case of MPS is clinically different. Most patients have a period of normal development followed by a decrease in physical or mental function. So depending on the MPS type, individuals may experience cognitive deficits, developmental delays, or severe behavioral issues. Many people suffer from hearing loss, neurosensory damage, or both. Unfortunately, there is no cure for these disorders. The treatment utilized is aimed at improving individuals' quality of life. Today is also commemorated as Global Accessibility Awareness Day internationally. Every third Thursday in May, and this year it takes place on May 15th. People are encouraged to discuss, debate, and educate themselves on digital access issues on Global Accessibility Awareness Day. The purpose of the day, a key event that spotlights digital accessibility and inclusion for persons with disabilities, is to raise awareness and inspire action. Increasing the usability and accessibility of digital products like websites, mobile applications, and other tools is important, as everyone needs to have access to same information, no matter what their disabilities may be. Established in 2012, Global Accessibility Awareness aims to have conversations and educate people about accessibility. It all started with a single blog posted authored by George Devo, a web developer located in Los Angeles, who came up with the concept. A post on this blog served as inspiration for Global Accessibility Awareness Day. As a result of their collaboration, Devon Jennison Asuncion founded Global Accessibility Awareness Day. Asuncion, an accessibility expert from Toronto, discovered Devon's blog article entirely by chance, owing to a tweet from which he can make across while surfing the internet. After reading it, he immediately contacted Devon via Twitter, and 2 of them teamed up to bring event to Fruity Up by utilizing their large and separate networks. For the website for Globally Accessibility Awareness Day, the goal is to get everyone talk about digital web-based access, inclusion, and persons with different disabilities, as well as to encourage others to think about it and learn about it. Local Global Accessibility Awareness Day events may demonstrate how people with disabilities use the web, the digital products with assistive technologies, or they provide assistance to people developing technological products to ensure that they consider the needs of the people with specific disabilities when designing their products. Today is known as also commemorated as HG Awareness Day internationally on May 15 to increase awareness of the pregnancy complication hypermesis gravidarum. Hypermesis gravidarum HG is misunderstood condition that often confused with morning sickness. HG symptoms, which are nausea and vomiting, are more severe than morning sickness that can lead to dehydration and weight loss. HG is potentially life-threatening and it affects 1% of pregnancies. Besides increasing understanding of this pregnancy complication, HG Awareness Day aims to build a broader community for HG survivors. HG Awareness Day was first held by HGR Foundation on May 15, 2012. The HGR Foundation is a non-profit charity established in 2003 by Kimber Wakefield, McGibbon, Anne Mary King, and Jeremy King, both McGibbon and Mary and HG survivors. It was in 2000 when McGibbon put the first comprehensive site about HG online, dedicated to helping women suffering from HG and those who have survived. The HGR Foundation is leading website for HG information. The HGR Foundation provides support, research, education to all women who are suffering from HG. Hypermesis gravidarum is said to be the leading cause of hospitalization in early pregnancy. It is defined as a potentially life-threatening pregnancy complication. Often confused with morning sickness, HG symptoms include more severe nausea and vomiting. HG may also cause dehydration, weight loss, malnutrition, and even long-term health issues for mothers and babies. If given early medical care to manage the symptoms and minimize nutritional deficiency, there is a high chance for both the mother and the baby to be healthier. If not, HG can lead to premature labor. There are initial signs that a woman is developing HG. They commonly include weight loss of 2 pounds weekly, recurrent ketosis, frequent and or severe nausea, and or vomiting, dehydration, severe fatigue, inability to work. The most effective treatments for HG are nutritional therapy, IV fluids, bed rest, and medications. Since each woman responds differently to treatments, multiple medications may be needed. The recovery from HG takes an average of 4 to 6 months, but it may take a few years if the HG was severe and prolonged due to malnutrition. There is also commemorated as International Heritage Breeds Week from May 15 to 21st, held during the third week of May each year. It aims at increasing global awareness of endangered farm animal heritage breeds in modern animal husbandry. Many of our cattle and poultry varieties have been replaced with more improved types, resulting in a tremendous loss of genetic diversity. Every month, roughly one domesticated livestock breed goes extinct. The Livestock Conservancy, a conservation organization dedicated to preserving unusual breeds, hosts International Heritage Breeds Week just a few decades ago. Nobody imagined these breeds would be on the verge of extinction. However, contemporary farming practices have resulted in a diversity reduction. Every such humans domesticated animals, we use variants of cattle and poultry for food. Natural generations pass down these animals. In our case, many of the adorable animals we got from previous generation will soon become extinct. International Heritage Breeds Week is a grassroots effort to ensure future generations get to see these cherished animals. Efforts have been made to protect endangered breeds like the Iron-Age pig, Shetland duck, and Northern Dairy Shorn cattle. However, even with these efforts, we are still cornered. Every year, the world loses a large number of uncommon native breeds. Today is also commemorated as Tourette Syndrome Awareness Month. From May 15th to June 15th is a period during which several activities are put together by health organizations for raising awareness about Tourette syndrome. Tourette syndrome or Tourette syndrome is a common neurodevelopmental disorder that is characterized by multiple movement, motor tics, and at least one vocal tic. They are typically preceded by unwanted urge of sensation in the affected muscles known as premonitory. Urge tics occur involuntarily, as in hiccups. For example, though an individual might not want to hiccup, the body does it anyway. People can stop themselves from doing a certain thing for a while, but it is quite difficult and cannot be sustained. So Tourette syndrome or Tourette's syndrome is a neurological disorder, usually hereditary, which could either begin in an individual's childhood or adolescence. It is characterized by the presence of multiple motor tics and at least one vocal tic. The eponym for the condition was given by Jean-Martin Charcot on behalf of his intern, Georges Albert Eduard Brutus Gilles Darnell Tourette, a French physician and neurologist who published an account of 9 patients who had the disease in 1880. The possibility of movement disorders, Tourette syndrome, including having been of organic origin, came to fore when an encephalitis epidemic from 1918 to 1926 resulted in a subsequent epidemic of tic disorders. In 1972, research advanced the position that Tourette's is a neurological rather than psychological disorder. Since 1990s, a more neutral views of Tourette's have taken shape, in which biological vulnerability and adverse environmental events are seen as interacting factors. Tourette's is a heterogeneous condition accompanied by waxing and waning symptoms. High-profile media coverage focus on treatments that do not have established safety or efficacy. Deep brain stimulation and alternative therapies involving unstudied efficacy and side effects are pursued by many parents. Research since 1999 have advanced the genetics, neuroimaging, neurophysiology, and neuropathology aspects of the knowledge of Tourette syndrome. However, there are still questions about the best classification for it, as well as close relationship with other movements or psychiatric disorders. There are currently efforts being made towards researching the genetic origin and possibility of better management of Tourette syndrome. Today is also commemorated as VBF Day of Awareness, which is observed on May 15th every year. It was established by the Vascular Birthmark Foundation, marked by congressional resolution to raise awareness about individuals living with vascular birthmarks, promote acceptance, and raise funds for anyone who requires treatment. The former is an international charitable organization that brings together people affected by vascular birthmarks, anomalies, tumors, or syndrome, and medical professionals. Many also happens to be VBF International Month of Awareness for Vascular Birthmarks. People around the world join hands to raise awareness about and promote acceptance of vascular birthmarks. The vascular birthmarks, also known as red birthmarks, are often result of incorrectly formed blood vessels. These blood vessels often clump together in a particular area of the individual skin. Another type of vascular birthmark, hemangiomas, is the most common tumor found in infants. About 1 in 10 newborns are born with vascular birthmarks throughout the history. Whenever a child was born with a vascular birthmark, his mother was blamed due to belief that her emotions branded the fetus. It was only in the 19th century that this belief, rooted in folklore, began to die down. Traditional medicine dictated letting birthmarks grow and regress on their own. More research suggests, however, most lesions like these do not regress to a cosmetically acceptable appearance and will thus require corrective surgery of some sort. There has been an consequent push by medical professionals and researchers to leave old practices of neglect in the past and adopt a more proactive approach when dealing with vascular malformations. Today is also commemorated as TSC Global Awareness Day, annually commemorated on May 15th. On this day, thousands of individuals and families come together to increase awareness and share stories of hope about living with tuberous sclerosis complex, in short known as TSC. This is an initiative of Tuberous Sclerosis International, TSCI, the Worldwide Association of Tuberous Sclerosis Complex Association. TSC affects millions worldwide, irrespective of race, ethnicity, and gender. Currently, there is still no cure, but research is helping patients find new and better treatments. Tuberous sclerosis complex, or TSC, is a genetic disorder in which numerous benign or non-cancerous tumors grow in many parts of the body. Its name comes from tuberous of potato-like nodules in the brain, which calcify with age and become hard or sclerotic. It is caused by mutations in two genes called TSC1 and TSC2. Only one of them needs to be affected for TSC to occur. Some people inherit diseases from a parent, but most develop it on their own. So all races and ethnic groups of both genders can develop. Tumors can grow in kidney, brain, heart, skin, and other vital organs in the body. This can lead to health issues such as developmental problems with symptoms varying from person to person. Almost all patients have skin abnormalities such as areas of raised and thickened skin, light-colored skin patches, and growths under the nails. It is also common for facial angiofibromas or tumors on the face to start in childhood. Some individuals have cortical tumors or benign growths on the outer surface of the brain. They may develop TSC-associated neuropsychiatric disorders. This includes intellectual disability, hyperactivity, psychiatric conditions, aggression, and an autism spectrum disorder. They may also have attention deficit hyperactivity disorder of seizures. The severity of symptoms varies. For some, they appear in the first year of life, but they can be subtle and take years to develop that they often remain misdiagnosed. Others are affected so severely that it may be life-threatening. The aspects of TSC that impact the quality of life of the patient are associated with the brain. However, some suffer only mild symptoms and lead healthy lives while working in professional settings, such as doctors, researchers, lawyers, and educators. There is also commemorated as Straw Hat Day on May 15th every year to celebrate the timeless wardrobe staple. Both men and women wear it in a variety of styles from conical to Panama, the straw that has stood the test of time, serving not only as a protection from the sun, but a fashion statement. The origin of Straw Hat Day is unclear. A straw hat, a brimmed hat woven out of straw or straw-like materials, is not only for protection, but for style, and even it becomes a symbol. And it has been around since the Middle Ages. In Lesotho, Mokorotlo, a local name for the straw hat, is worn as part of traditional Sotho clothing, and it's a national symbol. The Morocotlo also appears on their flag and the license plates. In the US, the Panama hat became popular due to President Theodore Roosevelt wearing it during his visit to Panama Canal construction site. Popular straw hats include boaters, lifeguards, fedora, and Panama. A boater of straw boater is a semi-formal warm weather hat. It's a type of straw hat worn by people around that time. Straw Hat Day began. The boater is made from stiff Senate straw with a stiff flat brim and striped grosgrain ribbon around its crown. It's still a part of school uniform in numerous boys' schools in the UK, Australia, and South Africa. Although men are seen wearing the boater, the hat is unisex. You can style it with your own outfit. Today is also commemorated as Peace Officers Memorial in US on May 15th every year. Pays tribute to the brave local, state, and federal peace officers who have died or been disabled in the line of duty. Falling in Police Week, the day is marked with a memorial event in Washington, D.C., a candlelight vigil and speeches commemorating officers past and present. Since we owe so much to those who keep the peace, we put together the day history and the best ways to show your appreciation. Today is also commemorated as National Senior Fraud Awareness Day. On May 15th every year, its objective is to raise awareness of fraudulent schemes older adults often fall prey to as they lose approximately $36.5 billion annually due to financial fraud. Due to this alarming statistic, the US Congress declared the establishment of National Senior Fraud Awareness Day to promote awareness about and improvement of methods to ensure safety of elderly US residents. National Senior Fraud Awareness Day was established in 2018, has remained an annual occurrence. So financial fraud is several millennia old. The first ever record of it was as far back as 300 BC when Greek merchant Stratos took out an insurance policy termed bottomry, wherein he borrowed the money and voted to return it with interest. The repayment was due to the delivery of the cargo he had insured. However, Stratos planned to sink an empty boat, keep the loan, and sell the goods without the lender finding out. His plan ultimately failed. He drowned trying to escape with crew and passengers. So, financial fraud in the United States also happens to have a long history. 1920, an American Charles Ponzi found that he could purchase postal vouchers in the US, ship them abroad, and make a 5% profit. That was not what he told his investors, though Ponzi promised them a severely inflated estimate of a 50% profit return. He used the large inflow of money from never investigate investors, newer investors to pay earlier investors, and eventually fled to the country. His fraud left many people shaken to their core that this type of fraud became named after him, like Ponzi schemes. Today, senior American citizens are often most vulnerable to financial fraud, and many elderly individuals fall prey to common types of scams. Sometimes they are defrauded by scammers pretending to be government agents who convince them to disclose personal details like their social security numbers. Other times, scammers and send these older adults like text messages claiming a problem with their account, be in their credit card, bank account, or something else, and have them voluntarily fill in their login details. Today is also commemorated as National Safety Dose Day in US. It aims to call attention to the importance of taking prescription medication responsibly to avoid health risks like addiction or even death. Many people see their doctor for drugs that give pain relief, and about 20% of them will be prescribed an opioid or narcotic. Unfortunately, opioids are being overprescribed. Adults who have been prescribed opioids by doctors become addicted or move on to more dangerous drugs like heroin. Opioid poisoning has now overtaken car crashes as the number one cause of accidental death in the US. Between 1999 and 2019, nearly 5 lakh people died of opioid overdose. Today is also commemorated as Stocking Day, National Nylon Stocking Day in US, which is held on May 15th, which is a perfect opportunity for us to celebrate this wardrobe essential, which has played important role in fashion industry. Dress was deemed incomplete without this addition of some nylon stockings. Before nylon stockings were invented, women wear material that included cotton, linen, wool, or silk. Research on the production of nylon started in 1927 by DuPont and was produced by the commercial use in 1939. Once nylon stockings hit the market, they were so popular that over 64 million pairs were sold in the first year. However, nylon stockings became less accessible during the World War II. Their production was put on hold as the textile was used to build parachutes, airplane cords, and ropes. During this time, the demand for nylon stockings in the market was still high. However, despite them, there were little or no supply. Today is also commemorated as National Notebook Day in US on the third Thursday of May. This year, it falls on May 15th. It's a day that encourages people to record their thoughts, events, and information in a notebook. It is especially important to have a notebook or journal if you are type of person whose mind goes so many places at once. One of the reasons why keeping track of your idea is beneficial is that it helps to focus the mind. People will often revisit their journal entries when they need inspiration or ideas. Today is also commemorated as National Chocolate Chip Day in US. This recipe spread like wildfire, and after a few years of selling their semi-sweet chocolate bars with a chopping tool for easy chunking of the bar, Nestle went on one step further by introducing chocolate morsels to the world. Today is also commemorated as Customer Experience Day, celebrated and observed annually on May 15th, was launched by Nextiva to honor the people and business dedicated to delivering amazing experiences, whether it's a thoughtful conversation, a seamless support interaction, or taking the opportunity to surprise and delight. Customer experience, CX, has become the heartbeat of modern business. This day was created to spotlight those unsung heroes, from frontline workers to business leaders who understand that CX, customer experience, isn't just service, it's a strategy. It's how brands win hearts, loyalty, and growth. The idea behind Customer Experience Day was a simple but powerful shift. Business no longer compete solely on products or price. Today, they compete on experience. As consumer experiences evolved, so did the importance of delivery consistent, personal, and seamless interactions. The rise of the internet and mobile devices and AI-powered tools has reshaped how customers engage with brands and now how brands respond. Today, we are also commemorating Today is also commemorated as Asphalt Day on May 15th. Celebrates many economical and efficient uses of liquid asphalt in roofing and paving. This annual observance was introduced in celebration of the members of Century Old Asphalt Institute Trade Association and the industry across the globe. Most people encounter asphalt daily, where it's a roof over the heads of in the roadway, runway, or walking path under their feet. Studies show that 94% of all US roads use asphalt and 80% of US residential roofs use asphalt roofing shingles. This day increases awareness of asphalt roofing and paving products while demonstrating their resiliency and growing sustainability. Asphalt resiliency shows through the product's responsiveness to climate condition and natural disasters. Asphalt repairs roadways quickly after natural disasters and damage from weather-related events. Pavement designers use asphalt to better construct roads to withstand higher temperatures, snow, ice, and extreme weather. Asphalt shingles provide the most protection for homes and people inside when it comes to extreme weather conditions. Advancing technology is helping to make asphalt roofs even more impenetrable. Today is also commemorated as the Break the Glass Ceiling Day. It's time to break the glass ceiling, the often invisible systemic barriers that exist to keep women and underrepresented communities from professional advancement. World Economic Forum's 2021 Global Gender Gap Report estimated that it will take an average of 135.6 years for women and men to reach parity on the range of factors worldwide. That's why Break the Glass Ceiling Day is on May 15th, the 135th day of the year. And that's why we need to do more than just break. We are dismantling outdated definitions of success for all people who identify as a woman, for all historical marginalized communities. We are campaigning, living by your own values and achieving them by your own standards, because there are more than one way to break the glass ceiling. Today is also commemorated as Bring Flowers to Someone Day in US. The gift of flowers is a universal way of showing love, appreciation, sympathy, or thanks. Today is a perfect day to explore the history of giving flowers and the meanings behind it. You won't need a reason to give flowers to someone. Anyone or no reason will do. Everyone is encouraged to spread joy through beautiful blooms by an arrangement from a florist or pick blooms from your garden. You must hand over the flowers yourself. It adds a personal touch to the thoughtful gift. So this week is also commemorated as National Police Week in the US, which falls on May 15th under President Kennedy's decree to honor the men and women who risk their lives every day. The line of duty takes place from May 15th to 21st this year. It is also a time for police officers to honor their fallen colleagues. Make sure those surviving them are supported, as well as to remember their commitment to keep people safe. Citizens and civilians also can celebrate the day by showing some love and gratitude to the policemen around them. National Police Week is all about honor and gratitude, remembrance, servitude, and peace support. So with this, we shall end today's commemorations. Thank you everyone for joining us in today's commemorations. See you all tomorrow. Take care. Good night. Before leaving, we request everyone to quickly fill up the feedback form, which has been raised in the form of polls. And we wish you all once again International Families Day. Take care. Good night.